that knowingly or unknowingly goes on in every organization process perspective. Quality assurance. What is a quality assurance? Quality assurance is an emphasis on all activities and tasks that people are involved in producing one product or service in the organization. That is, we emphasize that our quality is so good that whatever we produce will be world class. That is the quality assurance. And remember, in every organization, because this Six Sigma is a mindset change, it's a cultural change in the organization. So always remember the quality should not be considered as an extra activity that we are doing or an add on activity that we are doing. Quality is not an add on, it is part and parcel of the day to day activities that we do in every organization. Now, whenever we talk about quality, whenever we talk about total quality management as an initiative, there are ideally 8 areas which we should be very much aware of. Every organization does it because I have seen global organizations who are very strong in Six Sigma as an initiative or total quality management, where quality is a great focus. There are 8 components or 8 areas that we highlight upon. First is customer focus. I told you that in any quality management initiative, customer focus is the first thing. Involvement of people, involvement of employees in the organization. Without employees, how will you get the work done? A very good working relationship with the suppliers, a systematic and structured approach to management and process focus or process approach. I told you process focus or process approach is very, very important in quality management. Proper leadership to monitor the quality initiative that we have. Continual improvement. What is a continual improvement? Continual improvement means doing an improvement and sustaining that improvement. Remember, continual improvement is very, very important in Six Sigma. Doing a process improvement or making an improvement to the process could be comparatively easy, but sustaining that is comparatively tough. So continual improvement is something which we should always strive upon. That means we do an improvement and we make it permanent. That means it is sustained. Nothing is deteriorated. Okay. And the last one, factual approach to decision making. If I ask Arshad that, Arshad, how is your organization doing? He will say, sir, my organization is doing fantastic. How does he know? He remembers the revenue figure. He remembers the cost figure, which has come down. He remembers the sales figure. He remembers the profit figure. Based on this only, he is saying that my organization is doing good. That means at the back of his mind, some data and facts are there. So any Six Sigma or quality initiative that you do, there should be a fact or a data to back it up. Now, these are overall 8 components that we use for a total quality management initiative. To and Six Sigma, whether we talk about Six Sigma, whether we talk about ISO, whether we talk about capability maturity model integrated, CMMI, whatever, everything are part or somehow related to total quality management. So these are the 8 components ideally should be there for every organization towards total quality management. But out of this, our focus is on Six Sigma. So out of this, you can note it down if required. Point number 1, point number 5, point number 7 and 8. 1, 5, 7, 8. These 4 are exclusively important for a Six Sigma initiative. Customer focus, process focus, continual improvement, and factual approach to decision making. In a total understanding of Six Sigma, these 4 are very, very important areas that we should know. Process and quality, are part of everyday life. I personally feel if you can apply some good practices in your day-to-day life, it means you are applying quality in your day-to-day life. It is nothing but common sense. We will talk about this. Whenever we talk about Six Sigma as an initiative, we ideally talk about Six Sigma as a project. Because if I now come to, say, DB's organization, suppose I visit DB's organization, and DB says, "Sir, I'm working on a Six Sigma initiative." It means he or she is working. Please, could you please go on mute? Somebody seems to be unmuted. Can kindly go on mute, please. So, if somebody DB says that I am doing a Six Sigma initiative, it means he or she is doing a Six Sigma project. So, this Six Sigma project, before this, a question might be there. What is a project? Now, every organization, whether it is Six Sigma or not Six Sigma, you do projects, right? What is a project? Project is a temporary endeavor that we do to achieve something. We have 3 months project, we have 4 year project, we have 10-year project, we have 10 days project. So it's a temporary endeavor. Similarly, whenever we work on Six Sigma as projects, there could be many areas why a project can fail, which can apply to a Six Sigma project also. One is lack of proper estimation, because of which also a project can fail. Not understanding the requirements of the customer properly. The customer asked for 2 plus 2 equal to 4. You gave him 3 plus 1 equal to 4. It did not meet the customer's expectation. So the customer is not happy. Project planning and monitoring, lack of proper project planning and monitoring, because of which also a project can fail. These are very generic terms. Not having applicable resources so that your project could be successful, that because of that also your project can fail. Not understanding the client customers expectations properly, not having proper processes or standards in the organization so that you cannot produce whatever is expected by your organization. Configuration management, that is the baselining and others. Reviews and testing. In your organization, you don't have proper review testing procedures, because of which more defects are going to the customer, because of which also a project can fail. And staff attrition. Doesn't it happen in any organization? Staff attrition, because of which also a project can fail. So these are some generic terms or generic areas because of which any project, anytime in any organization can fail. I am not saying that all this should happen in your organization, but at least one or the other can happen. That is why it is called. These are the generic terms because of which a project can fail. A Six Sigma, we talked about this already. It's a customer focused attitude. It is focused completely on the customer. All decisions are data driven, not on gut feel. I told you, no gut feel. It becomes a guess estimate. If I ask you, if you don't remember any data, and I ask you, how much is your organization doing? How good? You will say, sir, I feel it is doing good. I guess it is doing good. It becomes a guess estimate. With guess estimate, Six Sigma does not run. You have to be specific with proper data. And another thing, we have to, whenever we work on a Six Sigma initiative, we have to understand the mindset. I told you, in a Six Sigma initiative, it's a mindset change because it's a cultural change in the organization. So whenever in your organization, I believe that most of your organizations, if not all, are ISO certified organization. So what is ISO? It's a process centric movement in your organization. You highlight on a process and you follow that process so that your products and services becomes good. That is what is true for Six Sigma also as a whole. So it's a mindset change. It's a cultural change in the organization. That cultural change is called the process focus. Okay. So while we do a Six Sigma initiative, we understand the mindset, concepts and philosophy of Six Sigma, what are the different methodologies of Six Sigma, how to handle the Six Sigma project. We will gradually see. Sustain that improvement for times to come for by continual monitoring. That is what I called continual improvement. Sustain that improvement and savings to the organization. Because ultimately, whenever we do a Six Sigma project, there are two things we deliver to the organization. First, how much financial benefit we derive by doing a Six Sigma project that we deliver finally to the organization, and also we give to the organization an improved process. Over here, we have already discussed all these points to an extent. We have touched best. Just concentrate on the last point, which is very important. Last bullet. To do a project, the immediate solution to the problem is not known. What does it exactly mean? Suppose I come to Gelisa's organization and I was talking to her, and she says that, sir, in my organization, there is a big problem in my organization in the process, but I also know the solution. If she says that I also know the solution, what ideally would be my answer? If you already know the solution, just do it. If you already know the solution, that there is a problem and I know the solution, just do it, sir. Just do it. So it can be done maybe in 5 days, 15 hours, 20 hours, 10 days. So Six Sigma initiative ideally is applicable in those cases when there is a problem in the process, but the immediate solution is not apparent. You don't know what is the solution. We have to analyze and find out what is the solution. That is an ideal way of doing a Six Sigma initiative. Okay. Now, what could be a Six Sigma initiative? What could be a Six Sigma opportunity? Any problem or pain area might not lead to a Six Sigma initiative. That's what I just said. Any problem or pain area which does not have an immediate solution would only apply for an ideal Six Sigma initiative. As I said, there are three forms of training which I personally acknowledge. Number one, Yellow Belt is the awareness training where people become aware of the Six Sigma terms and terminologies. What are the tools and technologies that we use? What are the statistical tools we use? What are the quality tools we use? What are the management tools we use to perform a Six Sigma initiative? You will learn about what are the tools and when to use. A green belt training is a higher up training where whatever you are learning in a yellow belt, you will again learn in the green belt. Plus, you will learn many statistical tools and techniques, how to use them. How to use these statistical tools and techniques. What is the meaning of this statistical tool? How to use many quality tools and techniques. Hands-on trainings you will have. Also some management trainings. Obviously, a yellow belt training duration, as you know, over here, it is around 2 to 3 hours of training for one organization. More or less, it is the same for all organizations. Automatically, in a green belt training, you will be learning more and more things. Automatically, the duration will be more. And ultimately, we have the Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma black belt training. Black belt training is the higher up maturity training. That is, whatever you have learned in the yellow belt and green belt, you will relearn as a revision in black belt, plus many additional and advanced statistical tools and techniques, many additional and advanced quality tools and techniques, as well as management tools and techniques you will learn in a black belt training. So obviously the duration of a black belt training will be much more compared to a yellow belt and a green belt. So these three are generally, globally, I will say, the most popular hierarchies of Six Sigma training. So any of one of you who could be interested in developing your career as a quality professional or Six Sigma professional, this is the right path that you have selected. I will say that you start off with an yellow belt session, then you move to green belt, and then you move to black belt. Many organizations, we have green belt and black belt combined one session. First you learn the green belt part, then we move to the black belt part. Even that is fine. So in that case also, you get two separate certifications, green belt and black belt, which are very good for you. Six Sigma evolution. Whenever we talk about Six Sigma as an evolution, I will not go through each and every picture, but I will say Six Sigma as an initiative started off from manufacturing organization, ideally from Japan, Toyota Production System, around the year 1960-61. It started off with manufacturing organization, but Six Sigma as an initiative became the global modern Six Sigma initiative that we see. We see more being getting popular more in the US around the year 1985-86 in an organization called Motorola. And also in GE in 1995, Six Sigma came in a very, very big way. And I was very fortunate to join GE in US in the year 1998. So I learned a lot of Six Sigma and lean thing in GE. And I was also fortunate to have worked as a consultant for some Six Sigma opportunities, even in Motorola when I was in GE. As a consultant, I used to work a lot. So identify root causes. You don't have to read so many things which are written at the bottom. Just concentrate on the binocular. Just concentrate on the binocular. Y equal to F into within bracket X. You can write it down if you want. Y is the output, F is the process or function, and X is the input or inputs. So what does it mean? Output is created from inputs put under process. Is this something new that you people don't know? It is nothing new. Everybody knows that we have inputs, we put it under process, we get output. But one thing, please notice, why is the output being shown first? Because as a customer, I am only interested to get the output as per my desire. I am not at all bothered what process you are doing in your organization. Suppose I am doing I am the customer and I am working with Arshad. Arshad, I told Arshad that Arshad, I need 100% quality output from you. So Arshad will give me quality output of 100% quality. That is what is my concentration. I am interested about that. But what process improvement Arshad is doing in his organization, I am least bothered. You give me 100% quality, I am happy. So in a Six Sigma initiative, concentration is on the output. Concentration is on the output, but our focus is on the F or process. That's what I told you. That's why F is also called focus area. That is the focus that we have. Whenever I told you earlier that whenever we do a Six Sigma initiative, it starts with the customer's dissatisfaction and ends with the customer's dissatisfaction. Finally, that is the total journey. Okay. Now, this customer's dissatisfaction is termed by a terminology which is called VOC or voice of the customer. Voice of the customer. Now, what is voice of the customer? A voice of the customer is when the customer expresses his dissatisfaction. It can come in various ways in an organization. In one-to-one calls, you can have the customer's dissatisfaction reported. You can have customer satisfaction surveys in an organization where you come to know which are the areas where the customers are not happy. So whenever customers are not happy, you ultimately have to make him happy. How? By improving the process, thereby improving the products and services. Thereby my customer will be happy. Focus groups. In banking sectors, we see relationship management. They deal with savvy customers, focused people. Complaints, customer complaints are the ultimate one. Customers complain or escalate when the customers are not happy, right? I am not happy with the product. I want a black color laptop, you give me a blue colored laptop, so I'm not happy, I complain. So these are different ways of collecting the dissatisfaction or the voice of the customer. So whenever you have a voice of the customer, ultimately you have to make that customer satisfied. So you need to understand how much the customer expects, so that is called the customer's critical to quality or customer's target. So from a VOC, we derive the critical to quality. I will give you an example. Suppose currently I am Abdullah and me, we are having a business relationship. Abdullah is my vendor, I am his customer. So Abdullah is sending me products from his organization, which is having 80% quality. I am not happy. So I told him, boss, 80% quality means 20% defects. I am not happy with this. I need 98% quality. Then only I will be happy. So Abdullah has to improve his process to such an extent that he could give me 98% quality. So this 98% quality is the CTQ, or critical to quality. Critical to quality, which is the target given by or agreed upon by the customer. And from the CTQ, we derive two specification limits: upper specification limit and lower specification limit. Now, if I tell Abdullah that, Abdullah, you give me 98% quality, I will be happy. That means I am allowing maximum 2% defects, right? 98% quality means what? 2% defects. So maximum 2% defects I will allow. So in this case, if the CTQ is less than equal to 2%, my upper specification limit will be 2%, and lower specification limit by default will be 0%. So write it down. From the VOC, we derive the CTQ. From the CTQ, we derive the USL and the LSL. And also write down, when the USL, LSL are derived or understood, that becomes the ultimate target that we have to reach by doing a successful Six Sigma project. That is the specification limits. Whenever we talk about Six Sigma as an initiative, we talk about two methodologies of Six Sigma. One is a DMAC methodology, another is a DMADV methodology. DMAC methodology applies when there is an existing process in your organization and you try to improve upon that existing process. That is the DMAC methodology. DMADV methodology applies when there is no process, no design that exists in the organization. You want to come out with a completely new process or a new design. In a DMAC methodology, I will say 85 to 90% of global Six Sigma projects are of DMAC methodology. DMADV are comparatively very less used. In a DMAC methodology, there are 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, which we will cover one by one. Similarly, in a DMADV methodology, it is define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. In our yellow belt, we will concentrate more on the DMAC methodology because that is the globally most commonly used Six Sigma methodology that we talk about. I already said that when we talk about Six Sigma as an initiative, we talk about a cultural change or a mindset change in the organization. So Edward Deming has observed, our quality guru, one of our quality guru, that 85% of the reasons for failure to meet customers' expectations, I'm reading it out, are related to deficiencies in systems and processes rather than employee. The role of management is to change the process rather than pushing individuals to do better. So our focus should always be on the process. So one thing I'm talking about again and again and again, that concentration on process improvement, that is the heart of Six Sigma. There are always three stages of customer satisfaction. When I talked about quality, if you remember, I talked qualities in something or anything that meets or exceeds the customer's expectation. There are some quality which are must be. If I as a customer want product A to be delivered on time, that is a must be expectation. Satisfier or comforter. Whenever a customer's expectations are met, customers' expectations are met, it is called a satisfier or comforter level. And whenever the customers' expectations are exceeded, that is the delighters. That is, you get something more than what you expected. I give you an example. Suppose the customer has expected 98% quality. Very good. You give him 98% quality, he is satisfied. But suppose, and I have seen that in many Six Sigma initiative, that we overachieve our progress. We have achieved actually 100%. Very good. So if I give now 100% to the customer, he will be delighted because he was expecting 98. You are giving him 90. You are giving him 100%. So he will be delighted. But whenever you want to delight your customer, you have to step in cautiously. First, you have to ensure that whatever you have achieved, this 100% improvement, are these being sustained? Are these being sustained? You have to first ensure this because today you have got 100%, you become so over enthusiastic that you immediately give 100% to customers. That boss, I give you 100%. Very good. Next month, it again came down to 98%. That means you could not sustain your improvement. Your customer will become again unhappy. So don't take that chance. Whether you have achieved more than the customer's expectations, very good. Sustain it for some time. Like in GE, what we used to do, we used to sustain generally for 3 quarters, 9 months we used to do. That when after 6 or 9 months we were sure that yes, everything is going as per my expectation, nothing is deteriorating, then we used to go and try to delight our customers. Whenever we talk about key performance indicators in any organization, there are two kinds of KPIs which are very common, especially within the quality background. That is called cost of quality. Cost of quality are divided into two parts: cost of good quality, cost of poor quality. Cost of good quality are those costs which we incur to maintain a good quality. Examples: training cost, reviews and testing, quality control, quality checks. By doing this, we maintain a better quality. So these are cost of good quality. Another quality is cost of poor quality. Cost of poor quality concept is different. That means you have already generated a poor quality. You have already generated a poor quality. Now, because of this, because you have generated a poor quality, what happens? You are now there are defects which has gone to the customer, and when the customer has defects, he will return it back, that please repair, rework, rectify this and send me back. So you are now working on rework, rectification and all those areas. So this is something called cost of poor quality. Cost of poor quality should be tried to make it zero if possible by producing 100% quality items, and cost of good quality can be balanced or controlled as per the organization needs. Tollgate review or tollgate technique, tollgate process is one of the management technique, management review process that we have in every organization. This is generally done after each and every phase of a Six Sigma initiative. That is, after define, we do a define tollgate. After measure, after analyze, after improve, after control, we do a tollgate review just to check that whatever work we were supposed to do in this phase, are we done to the fullest extent? Can we now move to the next phase? That is called the toll gate review. Nowadays, take it from me, globally, in any Six Sigma initiative in any organization, toll gate review is becoming very, very important management review nowadays. Let us start now with the define phase. In the define phase, as I say, defining the problem. What is the problem because of which we are doing this Six Sigma project? There are two artifacts which we always do in the define phase. Artifacts means deliverables. One is a project charter. A project charter is something like a project plan. By looking at a project charter template, one will understand, okay, these are the reasons because of which you are doing a Six Sigma initiative. These are some of the contents of a project charter. One is a business case. In 2 or 3 paragraphs, you discuss in short what is the purpose of doing my Six Sigma project, problem and the goal statement. Problem statement is the specific problem because of which you are doing a Six Sigma project, and the goal is what is the goal that you should maintain? What is the goal that you want to attain? Basically, you are trying to attain the upper and the lower specification limits. These are actually the goals. Next is project scope and the milestone. What is a milestone? Milestone is basically your planning activities. When you want to start the project and when you want to finish it off. And the last column shows, last block shows roles and responsibilities. Whenever you when you do a Six Sigma project, remember, it's not a single person's job. It's a team effort. So you have to form a team. Anybody who wants to lead a green belt or a black belt project, he or she has to form a team, which ideally better should be a cross-functional team. That is, people as required from different cross functions in the organizations, take them, include them, and do a Six Sigma project. Your problem and the goal statement should be SMART. I think all of you should be aware of this term, which is a very common terminology we use in project management and quality management terms, SMART. That is, your problem and especially your goal should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. This is a sample project charter. This is a sample project charter, but in any Six Sigma initiative, no template or format is compulsory. You can download any format of a project charter from the internet and use it for your project. This is just one template, okay? Next is SIPOC analysis. If Muhammad Rauf tells me that, sir, I want to improve my process. Very good, sir. My next question is, are you aware of your current process? Only if you are aware of your current process, then only you can improve your process. So for this, a SIPOC analysis is required to be drawn up, which basically maps your current process on a high level. Your current process on a high level. The total process on a high level is segregated into 5 entities. Who is the supplier of your raw materials? What are the inputs that brings in? After getting the inputs, what are the process that you do from top to bottom on a high level hierarchically? And from the process, what is the output that you generate? And from the output, what is the customer that you finally serve? This is one example of a SIPOC analysis from an HR department. This is a live example. Suppose there are some project managers who want some people to be absorbed or recruit with some special skills. So here the supplier, this SIPOC has been prepared by the HR department. So for them, the supplier is the project managers. They have put an input of requirement for new team members along with the skill set required. Then what they do? HR gets the requirement. You see, high level process from top to bottom. HR gets the requirement. HR advertises for new recruitments. HR receives applications. HR filters the applications. HR calls associates for first round of interviews, HR calls cleared associates for final round of interviews, and finally HR hands over the offer letter to the selected associates. Finally, the associates are absorbed. So that is the final output, and it goes to the project managers. So here, the project managers are playing a dual role of a supplier and also as a customer. Coming to measure phase. In the measure phase, we quantify the problem. That is, how much is the problem? In the measure phase, the first area that we do is preparing a detailed process mapping. In a detailed process mapping, basically the total process that you have to detail it out with the help of flowchart symbols. There are three components: value added activities, non value added activities, and value enabling activities. What is a value added activities? Value added activities are those activities which are recognized and approved by the customers, and they are ready to pay you for this. Non-value added activities like rework, rectification, etc., those are not recognized or approved by the customer, and they don't pay you for this. And value enabling activities are those which enables more value for the goods and services, products and services, like training, reviews, testing, quality control. So these three components will basically create your detailed process mapping, and everybody nowadays knows flowcharts, knows how to use flowcharts. With the flowchart symbols with Microsoft Visio tool, you can very well prepare your detailed process mapping. The next area that we will discuss is talking about the next area that we talk about is preparation of a data collection plan. Data collection plan. Okay, somebody is typing something. Okay, data collection plan. Data collection plan. As you can see, okay, Dash, I just saw your chat message actually. Look, when I am concentrating on the screen on my presentation and I'm struggling reverting between the mobile and this way on the laptop, sharing the voice as well as the screen over here, I don't think sharing my video will be a good option at this moment, because it will not be a good option at this moment. So let us continue the way we are doing. Okay. Data collection plan. Okay. So data collection plan. So data collection plan is the plan where we collect the data, which will basically quantify the problem. Okay. And well, I keep on presenting. If anybody has any question, my request is, don't keep on writing in the chat window. Please unmute yourself and talk to me. That's I don't understand something, I have a question, anything. Because simultaneously, I cannot concentrate on the chat window and also on the presentation. That will be tough for me. So I would request, if there are any questions or anybody wants to say something, please unmute yourself, raise your hand first. I will stop, then unmute yourself and talk to me. Okay, that will be a better idea. Okay, so now data collection plan, as I was saying, data collection plan is the plan where you collect the data, how much data you need to collect, where from the data has to be collected, which is the data source, who within the team will collect the data, and by what date the data has to be collected, and how much data has to be collected. If the data that you have is too big, say 10,000 data, okay, it is always better to have a sample out of it to use as a sample data and use it for your Six Sigma initiative. Now, whenever we talk about central tendency, maybe most of you already know this central tendency, mean median mode. In Six Sigma, whenever we use statistical analysis, 99% of our statistical analysis are used with mean as the central tendency. Mean means simple average. Mean means simple average. What is median? Median is, suppose there is a number set. Median is the 50th value. If there is a number set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which is the median? It is the number 6. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers before that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 numbers after that. So 6 is the median. If we have another number set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which number is happening the maximum number of time or occurring the maximum number of time? It is the number 5. So 5 is the mode. Mode we will not be ideally using most of the time. Mean we will be using 99% of the time, only in case of some very special cases which we deal with in the black belt area, we will be using median. So these are the three central tendency which we use in our statistical analysis that we do. Now, whenever we talk about data, we also talk about another area which is called variation. We also called variation. Now, what is a variation? Variation is always calculated with respect to the average performance. Variation is always considered with respect to the average performance. That is, if I ask somebody that Arshad, how much is your average marks that you get in all your professional exam? He will say, sir, for the last 1 year, I get on an average 90%. Does it mean he always gets 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 in all the papers all the time? Is it really possible? It's not really possible. Sometimes he gets 90%, sometimes 91, sometimes 89, sometimes 92, sometimes 88. So on an average, it comes to 90. So variation in any process is inevitable. It is always there. The variation should always be there. But as a Six Sigma professional, we have to see that variation is the minimum possible. That is, variation should be always closer to the mean as possible. That is the best process. Okay. So this variation is always considered with a statistical term which is called standard deviation. Now, as I said, that in any process, if the variation is less, that is the best process. Now you see over here example of two batsmen, batsman A and batsman B. Batsman A has a batting average of 53.9 and batsman B of 64.44. Batsman B has a batting average of 50.8 and a standard deviation of 7.76. Based on whatever I just discussed, which batsman seems to be more better or consistent? It is batsman B. Why? Because he is having a lesser variation. Any less variation, that is the best process. Now you see the data on the right hand side. You see the runs scored by batsman A. Sometimes 0, sometimes 15, sometimes 53, sometimes 300, sometimes 21. There is no consistency in his performance. But you see batsman B, his average is around 50.8 or 51, but he always scores 54, 60, 53, 44, 67, 60. You see, he is having a consistent performance. So that's why any variation has to be closer to the mean. That is the best variation. And variation should be as less as possible. Variations are always of two types. One is a common cause variation, another is a special cause variation. Common cause variation are those variations that I talked about just now. Normal variation. This word normal is very important. Normal variation, which ideally should be always there in any process. Okay. Special cause variations are not normal variations. They are not normal variations. They happen once in a blue moon and not in the normal scenario. Something like if As I said, Arshad is very consistent in his performance. In all the professional exams, he always gets on an average 90%. So always I see for the last 1 year, he gets 89, 90, 91, 92, 87, 88, 90. Suddenly in one exam, he got 40%. That is not a normal one. That is a special cause variation data. Okay. So ideally, we have to eliminate the special cause variation from the data to have my data, which will be only common cause variation data, which is a normal variation data. Because statistics and Six Sigma ideally recognizes a normal variation, always a normal data that Six Sigma and statistics recognizes. Now, whenever we talk about data, there are always two forms of data. One is a continuous data, another is a discrete data. What is a continuous data? Continuous data is a measured data. It's a measured data which can appear in the form of decimal or fraction. That is a continuous data. And what is discrete data? Discrete data are of two kinds. Discrete data are of two kinds. One is a discrete binary data, when it can happen, only two options are available, like marital status, married, unmarried. There cannot be anything in between. True, false, pass, fail, okay, not okay, good, bad, something like this. So discrete and binary. And another option of discrete data is a count data, which is a whole number data. How many times I talked with Abdullah? It is two times. I cannot talk to him 2.5 times, right? Two times, four times. How many defects are there? 50 defects, two defects, five defects. So these are all count data, which is a whole number data. So continuous data is a data which is a measured data. It can be represented in decimals or fractions, and discrete data is something which can be either a binary data or a count data. If you see this particular curve, which is called a normal curve, okay. Now, if you see the center line is the mean, and on the right hand side, you have one standard deviation, two standard deviation, three standard deviation. And on the left hand side, you have -1, -2, and -3. So between one standard deviation and -1 standard deviation, you have 68.2% of the data, which is closer to mean. But this is what I said. As the standard deviation increases, you see the data is spreading away from the mean. The data is spreading away from the mean. So more standard deviation is not good. Our data should always be closer to the mean as possible. That is called a normal Six Sigma curve. Ideally, all our data should be normal. Now, whenever we are not going to handle Minitab over here, but whenever you learn Six Sigma to a greater extent, maybe in green belt or black belt, we will refer to a global statistical tool, which is called Minitab tool. Okay, if any one of you come back with a green belt session with me, I will give you an advance intimation that please download the Minitab tool and come ready with that, because I will show you how to do several statistical analysis on Minitab. Minitab is the globally most commonly used statistical tool that we use for our Six Sigma initiative. Whenever we open Minitab, as on the right hand side, you see this is the screen that will come on Minitab, where at the top you have the menu bar, file, edit, data, calculation, statistics, etc., etc. This is the menu bar. Then the second part, which is the session window white part, here the Minitab results are coming out. The Minitab output will come out. And the third part, which looks like an Excel sheet, it's not an Excel sheet, it's a worksheet where the data has to be inputted. The data has to be fed in. When the data has to be fed in and you select the correct statistical analysis, based on this, your result will appear. So for Minitab usage, I just make you aware of what is a Minitab tool. When we start with our green belt session onwards, we will use Minitab to a greater extent. Now, whenever we talk about quality tools, graphical analysis, we talk about two graphical analysis. One is a histogram, another is a bar graph. Now, both looks as bars. So what is the difference? Both are shown as bars. The difference between histogram and a bar graph is in a histogram, it is constructed with the help of continuous data, and bar graph is constructed with the help of discrete data. Another difference, in a histogram, we see the frequency distribution. Frequency distribution, that is between 20 to 30, how many? Between 30 to 40, how many? Between 40 to 50, how many? So we are showing a frequency distribution. But in a bar graph, unlikely, it is done with an attribute or a discrete data, but it shows the exact number. As you can see in this example, how many are undercut, how many are oversized, how many are inclusion, the exact number. This is the difference between a histogram and a bar graph. The next area that we are going to talk about in the measure phase is a concept called probability distribution. What is a probability distribution? Probability distribution is the chance of certain incident happening based on a given situation. So here I am discussing one live Six Sigma project opportunity actually. On an average, 2% from a 2% of the transactions processed in a process are defective on a particular day. Out of out of 400 transactions audited, 21 turned out to be defectives. Is there an indication that the process performance deteriorated that day? That is what we have to find out. That is what we have to find out. So what do we do? This is what is the situation, that there are 400 transactions that has been audited, and on a particular day there were 21 defective that has happened. But on an average, it is only 2%. So is there a problem with that day, or is there a probability that the process performance deteriorated on that day because of which there is a problem? That is what something we find out in a probability distribution. The next area that we are going to discuss is called gauge R&R, or measurement system analysis, where the R&R stands for repeatability and reproducibility. I will explain with an example. Gauge R&R can always be better explained with the help of an educational institution. And I'm taking reference from a live example from my experience, which I'm going to share, but in a different, in a story way I'm telling you. Suppose it is Anne who is running an educational institution. Okay. And it's an engineering college where 150 people have appeared for the final exam, and they have all appeared for. So now Anne sees that all her competitors, they are coming out with the gradation that in my organized educational institution, so many are passed in grade A, grade B, grade C. But here, we don't have the gradations, right? We have the individual marks. So we have to produce the gradations. We have to build up the gradation. So Anne prepared herself. That is, if the average marks of all the papers for a particular person comes to between this percentage to that percentage, we will mark it as A. This to this will be B, and this to this will be C. Then he called Adrian. Adrian is one of the professors in his college, in our college, and asked Adrian that could you please take these 150 sets of data and let me know how many of this have passed in grade A, B, and C. And just to be extra sure, let us do it twice. So Adrian went. For the first time, he bring out the data 50, 50, 50. 50 A grade, 50 B grade, 50 C grade. Next time he gave 60, 40, 60, 50. So there is a difference between the two. Ideally, both the times Adrian has used the same data, the same measurement unit, there should not be any difference. So this is what measurement system analysis or a gauge R&R shows you, that whenever you measure the same data multiple times, how much is the variation in the measurement? And out of this, how much of this variation is within acceptable limit? That is what we check in a gauge R&R. So if you have a discrete data, the percentage should be greater than equal to 80%. Then we say we will accept the measurement system analysis. In case of a continuous data, if the percentage comes to less than equal to 10%, that is 90% accuracy in the measurement, we will accept it. 10 to 30%, we have to take a decision, and greater than 30% is unacceptable. So that is the idea of a measurement system analysis or gauge R&R. This is one example of a gauge R&R. There are 6 call durations and there are 3 appraisers who are measuring it 2 times. Ideally, all the results should match. You see the last one, call ID 6, all the results have matched. Ideally, it should match in all the rows, but it didn't for whatever reason. So that's what we need to find out, that how much is the variation in percentage, the total percentage, how much is the variation in the measurement system analysis, and how much we can accept. So that depends on the percentage which I just said. Whenever we talk about a measure phase or whenever we talk about Six Sigma as an initiative, we always talk about the concept of process capability, Sigma level. Because many of you could be thinking, what is this Six Sigma concept? What is this Six Sigma concept? Six Sigma concept means ideally reaching that level of process capability where we have almost zero defect. Okay, defect statistically is ideally calculated per million opportunity wise. So if you see, if you are at Sigma level 1 from the bottom, Sigma level 1, whatever it means, I will explain afterwards. If you see, out of 1 million opportunity, your defect is already 6,90,000. That means what? Around 69% of the process is defect. So your yield is around 31%. Yield is the good part. One thing you notice, as you rise up the Sigma level, your defect is actually decreasing, or rather, defect is decreasing and your Sigma level is increasing. So if I ask anyone a question, how can in any process defects go down, defects gets reduced, a common answer will come by improving the process. By improvement to a process, the defects goes down. So by improvement of a process, your defects goes down and your Sigma value increases. And that is what we do in a Six Sigma initiative. That is, we improve the process, thereby reaching a level ultimately if we can reach the Six Sigma level. So at this stage, when my process is not improved, I could be at 1 Sigma level. Leave it like this, no issues. But finally, I have to improve my process to such an extent that I will try to reach that Six Sigma level where I have only 3.4 defects out of 1 million opportunity, which is almost 100% yield. So that is what we ultimately have to do by improving the process and reaching that Sigma level of 3.4 defects or Six Sigma level. Process capability, whenever we talk about process capability, we do process capability calculation for continuous data and for discrete data different. For Sigma calculation for continuous data, we do it with a measure which is called process capability index or CPK. How do we calculate? CPK, we calculate first CPU. That is, we need to see that how far my current average performance is away from the USL and the LSL. how far it is away from there. Okay. And then we take the minimal of the value to be on the safer side. And with that minimal value, which is the CPK, we refer to a table which I will show you how what is the Z value or the sigma value. For discrete data, we calculate process capability with a measure which is called defects per million opportunity. That is a different way of calculation, defect per million opportunity. Again, for continuous data, we have CPK. For discrete, we have DPMO. And after calculation of CPK and DPMO, this is the statistical table, which is a global table. If you see on the right hand side, we have a column called CPK, and on the left hand side, we have a column called DPMO. This table is very well available on the internet also. So against any DPMO value or against any CPK value, we have to see this particular column, sigma short-term value. How much is my sigma value? So we will say that at this stage, I am at this sigma level, and ultimately I have to reach this Six Sigma level by improvement of my process. That is what, this is one example of a process capability calculation, that is from a manufacturing organization, that here we have two shifts and two cycle times given, two sets of cycle time. We have to calculate the cycle time process capability. This is how we'll be doing. Analyze phase. The analyze phase, we talk about why is the problem. Why is the problem? In the define phase, we have discussed what is the problem. Measure phase, we have discussed how much is the problem. Analyze phase, we have discussed why is the problem. In the analyze phase, the first area we talk about is a brainstorming session where we explore ideas about root causes. And after identification of root causes, why this problem is happening, we go into a cause and effect analysis. I think most of you should be aware of cause and effect analysis, may have already used it in some of your organizations, which is called also fishbone analysis. This is a cause and effect analysis where based on the root causes that we have, we put it under different categories, whether some will come under measurement, some under method, some under man, some under environment, machines, materials, whatever the case may be, we put it under this. But we also, this high level root cause we have, we put it under another analysis, which is called a YY analysis, which will give us the granular most root cause that we go deep inside. I will give you an example. One of the root cause, high level, which has come in the cause and effect analysis is people don't have enough training. That's why there are so much of problems. So the next question is, why people don't have trainings? Answer, there is no training plan. Why there is no training plan? Because there is no training managers. Why there is no training managers? So what I am doing actually, I am granularizing the root cause. I'm digging down, and I have to keep on dig down till that extent when I feel that no, I cannot dig it any further. I cannot dig it any further. I will accept it as it is. We have to do brainstorming session, cause and effect analysis, and YY analysis is a must that we all have to do, not only in Six Sigma. Nowadays, these are done even for an ISO implementation, even for a CMMI implementation in your IT organization. So these are very, very important tools. Some examples. Why are you throwing sawdust on the floor? Why analysis example? Because the floor is slippery and unsafe. Why is the floor slippery and unsafe? Because there is oil on it. Why there is oil on it? Because this machine is dripping. Why the machine is dripping? Because the oil is leaking from the coupling. Why the oil is leaking from the coupling? Because the rubber seal inside the coupling is worn out. Another example, why did the machine stop? Because the fuse blew due to an overload. Why was there an overload? Because the bearing lubrication was inadequate. Why was the bearing lubrication inadequate? Because the lubrication pump was not working right. Why was not the lubrication pump working right? Because the pump axle was worn out. Why was it worn out? Because the sludge got in. So finally, we could have further drilled down why sludge got in. So this way, we have to drill down till that extent when you feel that no, I cannot dig it any further. So your improvement should ideally come from the bottommost root cause that has been there. Pareto analysis, which many of you know, 80-20 principle, where we prioritize which 20% of the causes are responsible for 80% of the problems. It is not a compulsion, but these are generally done when the number of root causes are much more than you could handle. I will now go into one area which is called hypothesis methodology. What is a hypothesis methodology? By the word hypothesis, it means presumption. I presume something and then I prove it, whether my presumption is correct or not. That is called hypothesis testing. This is a live example which I will explain. In Illinois, there is a packing plant named Fabric Manufacturers. In it, the machines cut curtains with jars. It is supposed that a new machine will pack faster on the average than the machine currently used. To test this hypothesis, the time it takes to pack 10 curtains are recorded, etc., etc. So that means here there are two machines, machine A and machine B. We have to prove with data that the machine B is packing faster on the average than the old machine. So that's a presumption. And we have to prove it by doing a hypothesis testing. Okay, so there is a process of doing a hypothesis testing. Whenever you people will be joining our green belt sessions or further, we will be able to show you how we handle this hypothesis testing. The next area we call a correlation analysis. Correlation analysis showcases that between two sets of data, if there is a correlation or a mutual relation that exists between these two sets of data. Correlation comes in the form of 1, -1, or 0, which is also called a scatter diagram. If you see, there are three cases. If the result is 1, positive 1, it shows a positive correlation. Positive correlation means one data increases, other data also increases. Negative correlation means one data increases, other data decreases. And no correlation, which is a scatter one, it means no correlation. Just to go through one example, if I want to check if TV installation time is having a correlation with TV order processing time. So these are the two sets of data. We want to see whether TV installation time is having a relation with order processing time, and also whether order processing time is having the same relation with TV installation time. Whether we do hypothesis methodology, whether we do correlation, and whether we do another one, which is regression, all these are part of relationship management. That means relationship between two or more sets of data. So relationship, whenever we show regression, there should be a statistical value, which is a p-value or potential value that we receive, which should be ideally less than 0.05. If it is less than 0.05, we will say that there is a good regression between these two sets of data. But also there is another value which is called an R-square value. R-square value shows, ideally it should be greater than equal to 90%, which shows how much percentage of the data are having a good regression analysis. One example, the manager of Princep Motors, and these are all live examples actually, okay. The manager of Princep Motors wants to investigate how the plant's electricity usage depends on the plant production. So there is a dependency factor. Here the X factor is the plant production and electricity usage is the Y data. So X data is plant production, electricity usage is the Y data. So we have to plot on Minitab with help of data that we do in a green belt training. We do a regression analysis and we check whether the regression is good or not. We now come to the improve phase. Till now, whatever we have learned, define phase, what is the problem? Measure phase, how much is the problem? Analyze phase, why is the problem? Now we are going to improve phase, how to improve the problem. And here also we do another set of brainstorming session to explore solution ideas from the different root causes. From the different root causes, we now explore solution ideas to the problem. After we derive the solution ideas, we have to make two very, very important plans: improvement plan and implementation plan. Improvement plan is, suppose you have made 10 improvement plans from the brainstorming session. How these improvements are to be done and executed and completed, the detailed plan has to be prepared. And then the implementation plan. After the improvements are completed, how to implement those. So these two plans ideally should be separate. Separate two plans you have to do. This is one sample of an improvement plan, one sample of an implementation plan. But in addition to the improvement and implementation plan, there is another plan that you have to do for each and every improvement and each and every implementation, which is the risk management plan. You see a term over here, FMEA. It means failures mode effect analysis, which is nothing but a risk management plan. That is, if I do this improvement, are there any risk? What is the risk? Risk is something which can happen, which might happen. There is an uncertainty. I give you a funny example. I'm standing in the six-storied balcony and I want to jump from that balcony. If I jump, I might die. But if I die, then it becomes a problem. So don't mix up risk and problems together. Problem is something which has already happened. Risk is something which might happen. So we have to identify the risks for each and every improvement and each and every implementation plans by considering these three factors. First, identify the risk. Identify the risk priority number, or the RPN, in your organization, which comes in three components: severity, into occurrence, into detection. These three factors combine the risk priority number, which should be calculated in a number of 1 to 10. Severity should be 1 to 10, occurrence should be between 1 to 10, and detection should also be between 1 to 10, where 10 being the maximum severe, maximum occurrence probability, and the maximum detection problem. Identify the mitigation plan or action, how you want to close it. Identify the responsible person and the target date of closure, by what date you want to close it, and identify the re-evaluation of the risk, whether any RPN number you want to change the numbers or you want to close a risk. That is called re-evaluation. Ultimately, before you complete the improvement and the implementation plans, all the risks related to that should be closed. You cannot have any risk that is open and then complete your improvement implementation. It will not be successful. So remember, all improvements and implementation risks should be closed, and then only your plans will be successful. This is a sample FMEA form. At this stage, when your improvement is already completed, you have to come out with a revised process capability and a revised SIPOC. Revised process capability is your calculation of revised sigma value. In the measure phase, we calculated revised sigma, we calculated our original sigma value, which that time, say, it was at 1 sigma level. Now with your improved data, it will definitely give you a better sigma level, say 5 sigma level or 4 sigma level it has given. Very good. Show us that earlier it was this, now it is this. So sigma level statistically shows you that your process now has improved to this much of capability. That is the statistical way of calculation and significance. Okay. And SIPOC analysis, because now that your process has improved, you have to showcase the latest SIPOC analysis. That, sir, this is now my new process. So this is why you have to showcase the revised SIPOC and the revised process capability. Now we will come to our last phase of our DMAC methodology, which is the control phase. That is how to control and sustain that improvement. Now you have improved it, the process in the improve phase. How to sustain and improve. The first thing that you want to do is called a control plan, which is also called an improvement sustenance plan. This is after the improvements are done, how do you ensure that your improvements are well sustained? How do you ensure that your improvements are now sustained? That is what you need to bring up in the control plan by sufficient monitoring, sufficient tracking that you have to put in the control plan. In the second area, control methods, we talk about three things. One is mistake proofing or error proofing or Pokayoki. Another is standard operating procedures. These two are the qualitative control methods. And the last one, statistical process control, is the statistical control methods. Let's first discuss Pokayoki or mistake proofing or error proofing. The idea of mistake proofing or error proofing is create such an environment within your organization that defects does not crop up at the first instance. Prove the defect before it becomes a defect. Try to see the picture on the right hand side. Forget about any writing. Just one picture is stronger enough than any writing. If you see, Pokayoki is mostly applicable in manufacturing organizations. Now, if you see over here, this is a factory worker with a 3-pin plug in his hand, right? And there are 3 sockets in the wall, on the wall. One is a 1-pin socket, one is a 2-pin socket, another is a 3-pin socket. Do I need to tell this person that, boss, your plug will only go in the 3-pin socket? Do we need to tell him? Because in any way, that 3-pin plug cannot go into that 1-pin socket. It will not go into the 2-pin socket also. So even if he wants, he cannot make a mistake. That's what I'm saying. So this is what is called creation of a Pokayoki environment. Your quality control, quality assurance, quality checks should be so strong that defects cannot come up at the first instance. Standard operating procedures, that is creation of the work advice, the procedures that we say, how we work day in and day out, prepare a standard operating procedure so that all of us work in the same way and a consistent way. And I'm very sure that in all of your organization, at least most of your organization, there should be something which is called in the same line, SOP or work instruction or QMS process, whatever. The third area of control, which we called statistical process control, which we showcase by plotting control chart that after my process has been improved in the improve phase, is it under control? Can we say now that my process is well sustained? That is what we check by the applicability of a statistical process control. And in the statistical process control, we have 2 terminologies, UCL and LCL. Upper control limit and lower control limit. Upper control limit and lower control limit are displayed automatically in the control charts from the data itself, which shows you that, boss, your data should always be within these particular control limits. It should always be within those control limits. And upper control limit, lower control limit has no relation with upper specification and lower specification limits. Upper specification, lower specification, which we discussed in the define phase or rather in the conceptual part, are derived or given by your customer. but upper control and lower control limits are derived from the natural process after improvement. This is one case study of this one, that is your improve phase, that is your control phase. Handsome Tractors Limited wants to check if the number of defective tractors manufactured by a company is in control or not. Each week, we inspect the number of tractors manufactured and the number of defectives produced that week. A tractor is considered defective if it does not pass the critical item inspection at the assembly inspection area. That means this organization has now improved some process, and after improvement of the process, they want to showcase whether
so sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Just want to say, Francisco Vivas, please, can you close your video, please? He's in the washroom, please.
Absolutely.
Francisco Vivas, please.
Yeah, Francisco Vivas, yes. I have not
very important, please.
Yeah, please close your video.
Oh my God, shit.
Yes.
So if you have the host access, you can off this video, please.
Let me see, sir. Let me see. Let me see.
I think so. The class is so interactive. People don't want to close the session, even though they are watching.
I think I have closed this video. Yeah. But unfortunate thing is, I'm still not able to unmute myself. Okay.
It's okay. You can continue. It's going well.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we need to prove, actually, that Handsome Tractors Limited wants to check if the number of defective tractors manufactured by a company is in control. That means these tractors produced were in very bad shape at one point of time. Now it has been improved. And after improvement, we now want to see, are these in control? So that is what we check in the statistical process control. Our area of lean, because whenever we talk about Six Sigma, we try to combine it with lean. How? Lean and Six Sigma, I will explain in one single line. I will explain you this concept. Whenever we talk about lean identifies wastes in the process, how we can eliminate waste from the process and thereby improve the process. And what is Six Sigma does? Six Sigma identifies defects and problems from the process, how we can eliminate defects and problems and variations from the process, thereby improvement in the process. So what is common between these two initiatives? Both are striving towards improvement of the process. So that's how these two initiatives are brought together. And we always say lean and Six Sigma. This is a very common terminology we use globally. The lean and Six Sigma has a golden shake hand. They always work together, compatible, because both strive towards improvement of a process. Whenever we talk about lean, ideally, I will talk about three major areas. One is lean manufacturing. In lean manufacturing, which originated from Toyota production system in Japan, there are three terminologies that we talk about: Muda, Mura, and Muri in Japanese terms. Muda means identification of waste and how you can eliminate those waste from the process and thereby improve the process. What is Mura? Mura means identification of inconsistency and inefficiency in the process, how you can eliminate those from the process and thereby improving the process. And what is Muri? Muri means, very interesting, Muri means identification of excess stress from the resources in the process and how you can eliminate those from the process, thereby improving the process. So ultimately, we are striving towards improvement of the process only. The second area that we are going, and one more thing, lean manufacturing, don't think that lean manufacturing can be only applied only in manufacturing. No, Lean manufacturing, to an extent, could be applicable in other organizations also. I myself have implemented lean organization in an insurance sector, lean manufacturing in insurance sector, not fully, partially as applicable. Lean generic principles. Generic principles, as the name suggests, it can be used generally, right? So there are 5 features. Value. Company delivers the most valuable product or service to the customer, which is quality. Value stream means identify within the process those particular stream of process that creates that value items. Flow. Your process in the organization should be a free flow process. There should not be any interruption, delays, or bottlenecks that you have. It should be a free flow process. Pull. Pull process means produce only that much that is required by your customer. Pull management, mostly applicable in government sectors, in manufacturing organizations. Okay. And perfection, nothing to, it is needless to explain perfection. Produce your production service in such a way that it becomes a perfect towards the lean thinking and helps your customers. Lean 6S philosophy. Lean 6S philosophy, let me explain with a quick example from a departmental store. Now, many people are from India, some are from Middle East, some are from Philippines, some are from other parts of the globe. Everybody of us have seen departmental stores, superstores, we have seen, right? So whenever we go to a superstore, what happens? We see different aisles, and each aisle is having different items, right? Each aisle is having different items. So say there is Mary Joy. Mary Joy, in her country, she wants to buy cooking oil. So she goes to a departmental store and she asks the attendant, yes, sir, where can I get the cooking oil? Then the attendant will tell Mary Joy, then Mary Joy, please go to aisle number 7. You will get cooking oil. So whenever she goes to aisle number 7, she will see all the cooking oils are stacked together. That is called sorting. That is the fastest sorting. But just keeping at one place will not help. You have to keep those in a proper order. Like 5 kgs cartons at one side, 1 kg at one side, one manufacturer on one side. That is called set in proper order. Shine. Every organization, every departmental store, every retail store, every bank, every organization should always be cleaned and shined so that the employees love to work over there and the customers love to come over there. And standardization, whatever way you sort, whatever way you set in order, and whatever way you shine, please standardize the process. Please standardize the process. You remember standardization of a process so that everybody will follow a consistent process. This is something which is coming common between Lean and Six Sigma. Now you will feel the similarity coming between Lean and Six Sigma. Next one, 5th S is sustain. We have already discussed sustain in Six Sigma. Sustain, whatever way you sort, whatever way you shine, whatever way you set in order, whatever way you standardize, please sustain it, sir. Don't just do it for 1 month and stop. Sustain it. And finally, it is safety first. So these are the 6S that we do. Now, after a project has been started, a Six Sigma project, and then after a Six Sigma project has been closed successfully, you have to close a project in a formal way, because that is how I have done in several organizations. Okay, you have to always do it. You cannot just complete and say, okay, my project is done. No, you cannot throw it away like that. It has to be stored. First of all, you have to ensure that you have proper good controls. That is, whether your projects are under good control, that we have already ensured in the control phase. Controller sign off. The finance controller will ideally sign off saying how much financial benefits this project has brought to the organization by doing this Six Sigma project successfully. And process owner handoff. Process owner handoff is the sponsor of the project, who is the departmental head of the process for which the project is getting done. You have to hand it over to the process owner eventually. Leverage the project. Ultimately, this project has to be uploaded. The project documentation, which we will talk after this, the project documentation has to be uploaded on a common folder like learning management system, knowledge management system, shared server, some area where the project documentation has to be put, where people can refer and they can learn from the project. They can learn from the project what they have done. Ultimately, the sponsor will close the project formally with a celebration, as the case may be. Now, a sample project format. Your first slide should have the project title. Your first slide should have the project title. Second slide onwards, you should have your define phase. Whatever we have discussed in the define phase, you have to show those. For measure phase also, you should have separate slides. Analyze phase, improve phase, control phase, everything you have to show in a PowerPoint presentation. So my strong recommendation will be, whenever you work on a Six Sigma project and Six Sigma project documentation, you will be in your organization, maybe you will be helping your green belts or helping your black belts towards projects. Always you have to ideally prepare a project PowerPoint slide. A total slide pack of around 30 to 35 slides. That is the standard content of a Six Sigma complete project. Also the lean process. And what I have done at the end with STAR, Minitab output towards statistical analysis to be saved and tested, which ideally we will learn in the green belt and black belt. And Six Sigma project could ideally be a complete slide pack. That's what I have said. With this, I come to a close of my yellow belt training. Thank you very much, all of you. Any doubts or questions from anyone, you can ask us now, or maybe you can write to EduHub afterwards also. Can I get a copy of the presentation? Yes, sir, you can get a copy of the presentation. For this, Mr. Faizan Ahmed, he's here already with us, who was introducing the session. So please get in touch with him or EduHub, and they will help you towards that. Okay. Okay, there are quite a few. Oh, can I thank you so much for the informative presentation? Thank you very much, sir. It is my pleasure. And I'm again very sorry for the technical ditch that we have. Can I ask a question? Dash. Yes, Dash. You can definitely ask a question. Please unmute yourself and ask, sir. And the slide of the recorded session, please get in touch with Mr. Faizan. He will be able to help you out. Okay. Yes,
hello,
Dash. What is your question?
Sir Debasish?
Yes.
Okay. My question is regarding with the slides or the Six Sigma phases. In application.
Yes.
Say, today I'm a team lead in a company, an IT team lead. So if I'm gonna apply this in my process, should I just follow this this form of slides?
Yes, yes. This is the skeleton of starting a Six Sigma initiative. This is the skeleton that you have to ideally follow these 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, and then carry on with your Six Sigma initiative. Absolutely. This is the skeleton. This is the format of a Six Sigma project that you have to do.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. Yes. Yes.
Hi, thanks for your time. It was so value added to the session. I'm a HR professional. I'm a senior HR manager in an international organization. So
okay,
as far as I go through this particular presentation, it seems like it's more into manufacturing or service industry or somewhere else. So how could it could be useful for me as a HR
No,
professional,
no,
this
no,
Lean
no,
Six
no,
Sigma?
no. Very much, no, sir. Six Sigma as an initiative, as I told you, that I will tell you my background. I am basically from IT background. I spent 30 plus years in IT. Okay, but because of my experience in this quality professional and all these areas for 30 plus years, I had visited several manufacturing organizations, IT, insurance, banking, all sorts of healthcare, hospital, everything. Now, coming to your HR, don't you feel that your HR department, you have a process? I will just explain you. HR has several process, like one is a recruitment process, one other is a payroll process, another is an appraisal process. And I, as a Six Sigma professional with whatever small knowledge that I have for 30 plus years, I have guided many HR departments to come out successfully with HR initiatives. I give you an example. There was one organization, I will give you an example, one organization where they were facing a problem that whenever they were trying to recruit new people in their organization, the process was taking too long. Okay, suppose I am the HR manager, I am trying to recruit you. I contacted you, then I gave you an interview date, etc., etc. Then series of interviews, eventually you passed out, then I give you the offer letter. This total process was taking so lengthy time, and I am giving you a real life example. Okay, it was taking so lengthy time that ultimately not only the internal management but also the people who were supposed to join, he got fed up. And then in the meantime, before I could place the order or offer for after 1 month, he had already joined another organization. So that is a process which needs to be severely improved. So whenever any process which you feel, and for you, a customer is an external customer, is the people who are you are recruiting. That is your external customer over here. So your external customers are coming out with a very bad name for your organization. That this organization for recruitment, it is taking 1 month, whereas some of their competitors, I got recruited in 17 days. That is a dissatisfaction. VOC, from that VOC, you can definitely start with a process improvement initiative in a Six Sigma way. I think that explains, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem, sir. No problem, sir. Thank you.
All right. I think so. Most of the topics has been covered as we committed for the webinar. Am I audible to
Yes, sir. Yeah, very much, sir. Very much, sir.
everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So as per the commitment, we have delivered a very interactive session for Yellow Belt. And yeah, in the beginning, there was some glitch. But anyways, our training was so interactive. I think so. That is a compensation for that glitch, that we have the best trainer among us, like Devashish Mukherjee, having 30 years plus experience. Mr. Dash, your concern was to see the trainer face. So here he is with his video on, so you can see him. Also, there was some question in between the session that I'll be getting a participant certificate. I'll be getting so many questions over there. So can I have one by one question so that I can answer? So that's why I was not able to answer in between the class. So this is the best practice as per our institute, that we answer all the queries and questions in the end of the session. So yes, can I have few questions so I can answer?
Yeah, Mr. Debashish.
Yeah.
This is Sudesh Kumar. Thank you very much, sir. It was a very informative session.
Thank you, sir.
I'm doing this first time for the yellow session. I'm working with a pharmaceutical company as a quality assurance manager, and we are following ISO 9001 2015 as well as EU RAB and GMP standards.
Okay.
But we are into distribution channels, not as a manufacturing. So in this way, how this Lean Six Sigma will be helpful since we are already in ISO standards?
Yes.
Is it really a mandatory thing or?
Okay. I think I got your question. Your first question was what I understand, which many people ask me that, sir, we are already ISO certified. Do we still need Six Sigma? I will give you a simple example. ISO governs, gives you the process of handling things. It defines a process, how a process has to be defined, and you have to follow that. Okay. Simple example. You ask an old person to walk slowly in the staircase. Okay. You just guide this person that, sir, you put your feet like this, you put your feet like this, then slowly, 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 you climb down. That is what ISO does. But if you give a stick, a walking stick to this person, it will help that person to walk down the stairs better. This stick is nothing but a tool which is provided by Six Sigma. So in addition to Six Sigma, ISO, Six Sigma provides you the tools and techniques which will help you to further improve your process and make your process much more robust towards the process improvement and customer satisfaction. And coming to your area, as I said, Six Sigma is not restricted to any organization. Any area which has a process where you feel that some processes are not going good or some processes needs to be improved. Wherever I have some displeased customers, you can apply Six Sigma in the same way, sir.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. How many people want the attendance certificate out of this class session?
Myself. So now.
Maybe you can just raise your hand, maybe. Whatever way it helps. Yeah, basically everybody is raising their hands, I guess.
Very nice, very nice. So that will be a proof that you have taken the interactive session, which is globally recognized, and that will definitely help you with your career as well. You can attach that in your resume and all. So definitely that will be helpful. So yes, we will provide without any catch, we will provide this attendance certificate. Also, I'll guide you with the link, so which will help you to register for the attendance certificate without any delays, without any charges, and yes, without any error. So here is the link. Please look everyone carefully so that I can guide you how to fill up the details, and you can get your participant certificate on your email. Sir, can you give me the host
Oh,
address,
sure.
to share the
Just a minute, just
link?
a minute. Post taxes, right? Where is that? Okay. Yeah. Post taxes. Sir, I am not able to give the host access. Okay, where is your name?
Okay.
It is coming as what?
I will reclaim it.
Okay. Yeah. So much of
EduHub Institute. I have reclaimed it.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sorry, sir. Yeah.
So now I can guide you guys that. Okay. Please focus on the screen. It's a very important thing. So here you can see the participant. So this is the detail you have to fill. Here you can see the full name. Same will be mentioned on your certificate. Your email address, your mobile number, also your working professional, number of years of experience. Am I clear, everyone? Please.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, where can we get the link?
Yeah, or can you send the link on this GC, a link on the chat box?
Chat box. The email.
Okay, got it.
It is a best practice to right now save that link in your WhatsApp or share with someone so you can store the link. Here's the next page from your city and
But
country.
where is the link?
And
The link is not shown
like
here.
we are dedicated and do this. Sorry?
The link is not available in the chat box.
Wait a minute. Okay, it was just a second. Copy the link to everyone. Now everyone is able to see.
Yeah, it is coming. Yes.
Now it is.
Yeah, now it is. People can copy it. Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody can
I
copy it.
see it.
Okay, so this link, just save it. Okay, so here the next page was I showed you already. This was the first page where you can fill up your certificate name, what name you want on the certificate, and your details, so that we will fill up your details accordingly. And as we are dedicated with our training and we have given the effort, so in return, at least you can give your feedback about the trainer, about the coordinator, about our career counselor, Anna, who started the training. So you can fill your feedback here. Then here is your free attendance certificate. Just click it and submit it. That's all. Some offers we have posted over here. Who is interested for examination registration coupon for yellow belt? If they want to go for, they can just click and check out from this one. Or they want to buy a bundle Lean Six Sigma green belt, yellow belt, black belt, all programs, and they can save up to like 72% off. If they are not interested, you are not interested, then you can just simply click on attendance certificate 100% free as commitment, and you can submit your details. Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Clear,
All right.
clear.
So also you will be getting an email and about this all details, but the best practice is to do it right now after the session, so that we will be going forward and working on your certificates after the session. All right.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions with anyone? Are we getting certified in Sigma yellow belt? Yes, after registration of that exam coupon, you will be getting access to the examination and the content of Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt for the lifetime access. Okay, let me give you the details what you're going to get, the value for the money. In this, you are going to get the content for Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt, where the PDF will be there, CSSC handbook will be there, as well as recorded session of the trainer, Mr. Debashish Mukherjee, recorded videos for the lifetime access validity. 2 mock test access you are going to get. All right. Also, you are going to get the final examination registration in this package and the certified certificate with CSSC approved and CPD London approved certificate you are going to get, which is globally recognized, which usually people used to buy in $150 or $200 for yellow belt, which we are providing everything in $33 only, which is normal price. What we are selling is $150. But for this webinar, people who have joined, you can take this opportunity and you can register for this. Some of them have made the query for green belt certification, how we can register for green belt certification. For them, this is the question. This is the answer for that question. You can take a bundle, not only green belt. You'll be getting yellow belt, green belt, and black belt, whole bundle in this piece, which will be included for the live training session for the green belt and black belt certification, plus examination for each exams, for each course. And this is the final one, which all the people can register without skipping anyone, attendance certificate. All right. So I think so we are very easy for everyone to understand. Also, it is very easy for everyone to technically work on it. Am I correct or not?
Yeah, I think this is quite self-explanatory, I guess.
Very, very simple process we have.
Yes,
we don't
yes,
have
yes.
that.
Very simple
difficult
process. Very simple process.
Okay.
User-friendly.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. And definitely we will be coming up with more sessions like Green Belt in future. Also digital marketing. If you guys are interested in more programs, so definitely you can enroll with us for free courses what we do usually on Saturdays for monthly wise one course we do digital marketing, supply chain management, ISO's trainings. So we do these kind of courses to help our community and educate people, which they are not able to pay, or they are not they don't trust many institute. First they take the training and then they are interested to enroll and register. So we make the process very easy. First get the training, trust us on our live training session, then go for the registration.
Absolutely.
And we take a responsibility for the examination, for certification, and you will not believe more than 50,000 plus professionals have been enrolled and got certified with our institution. And we have prepared many students for PMP professionals. I am sure that everybody knows about project management. So we have so far 85% passing percentage from PMI, professional project management. So definitely we are going to do more sessions. So be connected with us somewhere in social media like LinkedIn. Connect with us so you will be getting a notification what we are going to do the session in further. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward for more trainings.
Definitely.
Sir, excuse
Thank you so
me.
much.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Until what time the exam link will be open?
Soon after the registration, you will be getting a call and we will guide you for all the process. The exam link will be valid for 3 months, and after 24 hours of registration, you can take the examination anytime.
So meaning we have to register first, then the
Yes.
link for the examination will be followed after the registration. Then the
Yes.
exam link is valid to how many months?
3 months.
3 months for the examination.
Yes. Yes.
Are there any chances that a student will fail the examination?
Yes. So if in case you fail the examination, not to worry, because we have one secured link for you, which is completely in the package. We don't charge after the enrollment, we don't charge for anything. If you fail in the examination, we will train you, and then we will give you one more link for the examination without any cost.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello. Do you offer mentoring for green belt and then black belt for their projects?
Anyone have any concern regarding the? Okay, I didn't get you. Sorry. What was your question?
Do you offer mentoring or black belt mentoring for green belt and black belt projects for Six Sigma?
Okay, I got your point. Yes, we do mentoring on the project, customized project. Let's say you are from medical field, or you are from oil and gas field. So definitely, according to your project requirement, we will be mentoring you. We will provide you the consultation to create the project for your company. Definitely, we do that.
Okay.
And once you have this requirement, this kind of requirement, we will contact you individually and will provide you all the process, how it works.
Okay, is that free of charge, or are you charging?
Definitely the project implementation, the consultation will be completely free. As a consultant, we will provide you all the required detail. But definitely where the mentors and senior project managers were involved with you, definitely there will be cost for that. And for the project basis, first of all, we will understand your requirement, what it is. And then we will give you the quotation. If you're okay with that, we will proceed.
Okay. I think I got the answer that I need. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I think so. One participant I would like to appreciate, Mr. Rauf. I'm not able to see him, but he's very much serious in the session, and everyone too, definitely. Thank you so much, sir. Devashish.
Sir, thank you very much.
Mr. Mohammed Rauf, he's there. Mr. Mohammed Rauf. Okay, I think so. He have left the class already. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Everybody will receive the email regarding their participant certificate, and also they will be getting a email with a link So you can register your participant certificate and claim it. Within 24 to 48 hours, everybody will receive their certificates also. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
one more thing,
Thank you.
I would like to give you one point of contact if in reason you have anything concern related to the anything like kind of certificate or any technical help, or you need PPT, everybody, anyone got missed. So definitely you can write down one email. I will write in chat box. Just a second.
Yes, sir. Can you please share also the PP
Yeah, yeah.
education